Hi there, welcome to QA Box Let's Test. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, kindly do so, and if you like the video, give them the thumbs up.
Alright, so in this video we are going to talk about the keyword this. If you are new to JavaScript, you might be struggling with this. So in this video I'm going to set out some simple rules which you can follow, and hopefully then there would not be any problem in dealing with this. Alright, so when you are referring to this within a method which is a part of an object, so method is nothing, it's a function, right? But when that function is defined inside an object, we refer that as method. All right, so when this is defined inside a method which is a part of the object, so this always refer to that object. Now second one is when we define a function outside an object, right? So regular function. All right, so in when you refer this inside those functions, regular functions, or for that matter function expressions, so then this refers to the global object. Now global object in case of browser is window, and in case of node it's global. So if you open your browser, this is a Chrome browser, and I've opened the developers toolbar console section. So if you now do this, so you get this window object back. Okay, so now we are going to first cover the type 1, which means that we are going to refer this inside a method in an object. Okay, so this is a car object which has a property name and a function start. So how can we call this function? I've already covered that using member access operator. All right, so you're going to say car and dot start, and inside that function body you could see that I'm logging this to the console. So now if I save this, so now you could see that this refers to this car object. All right, so you could see that name start. All right, so that's related to type 1. Okay, now let's see another example. So in this example, what we are going to do is we are going to add another method to this car object which is stop. Okay, and then we are going to see what this refers to. Okay, so in stop what we are doing is again we are making a log to of this object. All right, so if we save this and let me invoke this method, and now you could see the same object is being logged. Okay, so even if you add a method to an object after creating it and then refer to this, it will still refer to that particular object. All right, so let me comment this out, and let us look at another example wherein we are using the constructor function. Again, I have created a video on this. All right, so I'll post a link of this. So let me uh, uncomment this. So as you could see, the name of this car object starts with a capital C. All right, so that's a nomenclature, and we are what going to do is we are going to create a new object in here. Okay, and in this function, so you could see that I'm going to pass in a name, and then with the help of this we are going to say this dot name is equal to name, and then we are going to log this. Okay, and in my video on function constructor, I have mentioned that whenever you use the new keyword, right, what happens internally is we create a blank object, and then this starts referring to this blank or empty object. All right, so let me clear this out and save it, and now you could see this refers to this car object. Okay, and you could see that name is equal to BMW. Great, so let me comment this out. Okay, now we'll move on to type 2. Okay, and in type 2 we are going to work on regular functions, and in those functions we are going to refer this. Okay, so here is our regular function. So it's a very simple straightforward function. All we are doing is we have created a function show this, and there is a statement console.log, and we have written this in here. So let me clear this and save this. Okay, and we have to invoke this function, and when we do so, you could see that this has called in the Windows object. All right, so whenever you refer to this inside functions, they always refer to Windows or the global object. Okay, okay, so as you could see that if we use strict, then this starts referring to undefined. Okay, all right, so just remember that. Okay, next one is this. Let's understand this as well. So as you could see that this is another object, and it has one property list whose value is an array. Then we have the type number, another property, and then we have this function. Okay, and what we are doing is in this function we are iterating over this list. Okay, so we are saying this dot list for each, and then we are passing in this function, and we are logging in this dot type. So we are trying to type number and then the item, so number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. All right, so this is what we want to type. So let us invoke this function and see what will happen. Oh, so we are seeing undefined. All right, so why is so? Because this is what we said. So uh if this is defined uh, inside a method which is a part of an object, then this refers to that object. Then why it is not working here? See, the thing is, this particular function, okay, is a callback function, and callback function is just like another function, right? And we know that in functions this refers to the global scope. Okay, so if I say this, okay, here, and print this, so you could see that this is referring to the Windows object, and on Windows object there is no property with the type, and hence we were seeing undefined. Okay, now how can I fix this? I want this dot this to point to this particular object. So in for each, so first argument is the callback function. Second, if you see, is referring to this arg. So if I say in here this, or let me say I pass in an object and I say um, name, and let me pass in a value which is a v. All right, and let me save this. So you could see that now this is printing this object. Okay, so if I want to refer to this object, all I have to say here this. Okay, and now I can use this type. Okay, let me save this, clear this out, save this, and now you could see number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, because this dot type is this. Okay, so that's how you can fix this. Now fortunately, this arg, right, which we just saw, this argument is available into for each, but you may not have this arg available into every other function. Then how are you going to fix that? Okay, so let me comment this out. Okay, so then we have three methods which will help us in binding the this keyword. Right, so they are call, apply, and bind. So call method calls a function with a given this value and arguments provided individually. The call allows for a function or method belonging to one object to be assigned and call for a different object. All right. A call provides a new value of this to the function or method. With call, you can write a method once and then inherit it in another object without having to rewrite the method for the new object. Okay, so let us start with, so this is my first object. Okay, this is my second object. In first object we have the method show. In the second object person2 we do not have this method. All right, so now if I want to call this method show, okay, on this object, okay, so what I'm saying is this should refer to person2. Then you can do like this, person1 dot show, right, dot call, and then you pass in the reference to this object. So if I uh, write this method, okay, so you could see that we have this arg in here. All right, so we're going to take advantage of it. So this would refer to person2. All right, and now if I save it, so you could see that name person. So show is supposed to do what? It is going to log this, and it is going to log this dot name. So name is Tanisha for person2, and therefore it is being printed, and the object itself is Tanisha. So this refers to person2. All right, same is with apply. All right, so there's a slight difference. So there could be cases wherein you also have to pass in the arguments in this function. So you pass them normally in case of call, but you pass those arguments in the form of arrays in case of apply. But that is not what we have to cover in here. We are talking about this. So this is how you are going to use again the same syntax. All you have to do is replace call by apply, and let me clear this out and save this. We are going to see the same result again. All right, the last one is our bind, and it is slightly different. The bind method creates a new function that when called has its this keyword set to the provided value with a given set of arguments preceding any provided when the new function is called. All right, so this is going to create a new function, and when you invoke that function you are going to again see the same result. Let me clear this and save it, and you see the same result again. All right, so this is about this keyword into JavaScript. Thank you so much.